It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we've got some history in this battle of AFL alumni. It's the Denver Broncos and the Cincinnati Bengals, and it's kicking off next on Madden NFL 25.
We're in a city built on 7 hills, and the fans hoping to see 7 points on the board early. We're at Cincinnati's Paycor Stadium. Glad you could join us, football fans, as we get ready for kickoff. It's Kate, Scott, and Brock Hewitt up in the booth. And Brock, I want you to take us back down to the field when you were a player. What are these moments like just before the game begins and you take the field for the first time?
Well, you wish you could hit fast forward. You wish you could just get to this, right? Because you are so ready to go. You've done all your work over the course of the week. And I think this is where it is a little different than maybe my era a couple decades ago. These guys visualize. These guys self-talk. There is so much mental work being done. They've already played this game in their mind in many ways, and they're just ready to go.
To kick off, here's Will Lutz. And away we go in Cincinnati. Return coming from the 6. He stopped on the return at the 27. So here come the Bengals, ready for their opening drive. They're led out by the legend over in LSU, the former #1 overall pick in 2020, Joe Burrow.
When Joe Burrow's between the white lines, he's one of the game's best and most entertaining quarterbacks. He just has a cool factor that is the envy of so many. Nothing seems to bother them other than some injuries that unfortunately have ended seasons early. When he's on the field, timing, the anticipation, Kate, the precision with which he plays, he has very few peers.
Straight ahead, it's Brown. Good little rip there. Looks like about 6. Brandon Jones up for the stop. Give him around 6. That's going to make it 2nd and 4.
That's a run that you'll take the result in the NFL every time. A nice play, a solid game, but it's also a run that you know, and you may come back to. Because if you were that close to breaking off an explosive one, you really break the backs of a defense.
Here's Brown again. And he's brought down for a loss.
What was supposed to move the chains or at least make third down easier to handle instead? Well, did the exact opposite here, Kate. It now makes this third down a whole lot trickier to figure out.
3rd and 6 for them to figure out now. Now Burrow. He throws a bullet deep to the right. It connects on the deep shot. And he's going to be brought down at the 35-yard line. A pickup there of 33 yards. And it sets up a Cincinnati first down.
This entire play, Kate, depends on how well he can separate from his man. You get man-to-man coverage, it's really about 2 things: separation and trust. Because QBs want to throw it before he breaks. That's the trust. And then they got to believe that that separation can create the big play down the field.
1st and 10 now. Here's Burrow. Ooh, he got hit as he was throwing, and unsurprisingly, it falls incomplete. 2nd down coming up. Well, no look on his first look of the game, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, that's one you chalk up to the pressure earning that incompletion. They came in before he could find a target, hit him, altered that last-second attempt to get rid of it.
On 2nd and 10, Burrow again. Hits him on the in route. And they can't bring him down until he gets into that red zone at the 19. That play good for 17 and a first down.
If they get a handful of these types of plays per game, the pass game coordinator is going to be one happy camper.
Still on the move, coming to the line for 1st and 10. Working inside the red zone. Catch made by All. And he's going to be taken down near the 8-yard line. A nice pickup of 11 there, Brock, and they'll have 1st and goal to figure out.
You'll often hear it said, in my life experience, it's true, the NFL is a game of matchups, so much more than any level. And these tight ends, we see it time and again, are such a matchup nightmare down the field.
Tight end going in motion here. Burrow back to throw. And he's going to score. Touchdown, Cincinnati. The Bengals finish up an excellent opening series. T. Higgins, the touchdown. Well, you couldn't ask for a better start to a game than that. The offense taking it all the way down the field and finishing with 6.
These opening drives, Kate, are such tone setters. It is why every offense loves to script their first 15 plays, right? Everybody knows what's coming. Allows you during the practice week to get into rhythm, but even better when you're that sharp, that crisp, and you finish off and get the early lead.
Evan McPherson on to try the extra point. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Bengals will jump out to a 7-0 lead. Here's McPherson on to handle the kickoff. Here's Traymon Smith with the return. And in the end, he's able to get it to what used to be a touchback. It's at the 25 after the return. So we'll see the Broncos offense now for the first time. They'll be led out by the former first-rounder out of both Oregon and Auburn. It's Bo Nix.
Bo Nix entered this league as a grown-up. 61 college starts will do that for you. A ton of college experience. And Bo Nix is a facilitator. When he is at his best, that ball is in and out of his hands in an absolute hurry. If he were a point guard on a basketball team, he'd want to go up and down the court and get it out of his hands as quickly as he can. He's accurate, he's tough, he's experienced, and he's poised for this challenge of the NFL.
Now the first run of the game for Javonte Williams. And the power play up the gut only results in 2 yards.
I think we got to be careful, and I'll raise my hand of thinking that play was just a nothing burger. Because what can happen from that, Kate, is he put some nice toppings on it. A play-action pass, a shot that comes down the road for what looked like a very plain play.
8 yards to go. Let's see how they approach this second down. Out of the gun, it's Nix. Falls to the ground out left, incomplete.
You know, in the NFL, offensive-minded teams will call it a perfect Friday. They don't want the ball to hit the ground once. And especially on these short to intermediate throws, you've got to count on those being efficient and effective.
No connection on the last play, and now it's third down. Nix from the gun. Complete out to the right side. And that tackle stops him after a solid gain.
Feet and eyes, Kate. Feet and eyes. They so often tell the story of every position on the field. When that quarterback's feet and eyes move to his secondary read, and so often it's a tight end, well, it's incumbent on that defense to fly to the ball. You want to make that tackle, force the fourth down? It took a great defensive effort to do it.
Punt team is on now, and they get this away. Takes it in at the 26. And he gets his guys a few yards before they bring him down on the return. Call that a booming 56 yards in the end. And they're going to take over possession. Ball at the 33 for first down. Burrow. He's on the move. He's stepping up and takes off with this one. And he'll push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs. A nice gain of 13 yards as it brings up a first down. So before they get the snap away, we reach the end of the first quarter. 7-0 is our score. We're back to Paycor Stadium right after this. Time for our second quarter. It'll be Bengals football to begin. They've got 1st and 10 here, looking to add to their lead. Got his target, it's Higgins. And they get this down to the 44 before he stopped. They come through with a nice gain there. Gain of 10, first down.
And those are the completions they rely on from their passing game.
From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. Running back sent in motion. Throwing is Burrow. Gets it to his man, Mike Gesicki. And he's marked down, looks like at the 32-yard line. Give him 11 yards, Brock, and a fresh set of downs.
I can't tell you how nice it is to have a big, trustworthy tight end in the passing game. Such great size to have, and he forces those defenses to find a way to try to match up when they can't.
Brown on the inside give. And he'll be met near the line to limit the gain to a yard. P.J. Locke getting there for the stop. Only gets a yard there to make it 2nd and 9.
You know, they got some positive yards. That's a good thing. But too many plays like that, it just is too hard to pile together, get first downs against the better defenses in this league.
Burrow from the gun. Throw left side, caught by Higgins. And he's down inside the red zone before hitting the deck. That's an 11-yard pickup, and it gives them the first down.
Well, that is pretty darn impeccable timing between the two. They hit a curl route of that length. It takes great anticipation and precision by the quarterback, and the receiver on the other end finishing it, doing his job.
From the red zone now. And he just hucks this one away. Wasn't going to risk a throw or force something. It brings up 2nd down.
That is normally a gimme for this offense, these short throws. But the defense, well, they had just enough influence on that play to force the incompletion.
No dice on that prior pass. Here's 2nd down. Motioning the tight end now. Throwing the out route complete.
Kid, I can't tell you how good that is. Anticipating the outcut, having the ball on the way before the receiver's head even turns. He puts it on him so that receiver can easily get out of bounds for the nice gain.
Battle coming up on 3rd and inches. Now it's Brown. And he could not get there. They stop him right at the line. Nothing for him on that play as we've hit the 2-minute warning. Offense staying out there. It's 4th and 1. They'll run again with Brown. And that play is brought to a halt, they're going to say, at the 5-yard line. They come through with 6 yards there, Brock, and they're rewarded with a new set of downs.
4th down, pressure on him. He was not backing down for a second. Nice effort to carry the rock. More importantly, for his offense to get a first down.
Burrow setting to throw. Escapes the pocket. And he will score. It's a Cincinnati touchdown. The Bengals grow their lead just before halftime. Joe Burrow with the touchdown. Great play by the QB there, Brock. The play broke down. He didn't have much of a choice other than to escape and improvise. And in the end, turned out to be the best call he could have made.
It is such a necessary tool in today's NFL for that QB to put right in his tool belt, Kate. You know, in my day, you could be a blacksmith, right? You just do the job and stay in the pocket. Not anymore. You got to be an artist. And you got to be an artist that can create when things break down. And that's big time to get a touchdown out of it as well.
That one right down the middle. And the Bengals double their lead to 14. Here's McPherson on to handle the kickoff. Here's Smith on the return. And this drive will start inside the 25. So the Broncos headed out for their second drive of the game. They're trailing, but there's enough time, Brock, that they could get a scoring drive to attack that here before the break. Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. Shotgun snap to Nix. That finds Vele complete. It looks like we can call it about 4 yards in the end. Mike Hilton getting up there for the tackle.
It takes a certain level of fearlessness, craziness to work over the middle of the field in this league. You're fighting through guys as you go, and all the while you know you could take a lick at any time.
From the 29. He beams one deep right side. Nearly intercepted. Ooh, he almost had it. Couldn't bring it in. Incomplete. That brings up 3rd down.
You feeling lucky? Well, do you? Well, he should, because the quarterback got away with one right there. That was an easy pick dropped by the defense.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got 3rd down. Throwing here, Nix. Chased out to his right. And they get to him as he was trying to make something happen. We get a timeout now from the Bengals. That's going to be their first. They'll have 2 left to work with before halftime. Riley Dixon on the punt. And he's getting the call for the 2nd time this game. Fair catch called for and made at the 35-yard line. So no return on that punt. Man, it'll be their football. The Bengal offense getting the football late in the first half. And while one sideline has 0 points, this offense, wow, they have had 0 issues so far getting into that end zone.
They are rolling right now, Kate, and unless there's a speed bump on the immediate horizon, things are at risk of getting out of hand.
On target to his man Higgins. And he'll get it up to the 44. Cincinnati uses its 2nd timeout. And they still have 1 in their pocket for what's left of this half. After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short. Out of the shotgun, Burrow. Higgins makes the catch. And he's brought down right in the neighborhood of that 40-yard line. The final timeout taken by the Bengals. And that's all they've got for what little remains of this half. First down now, ball at the 39-yard line. Burrow out of the shotgun. And that one is incomplete, and the clock stops with 18 seconds to go.
Those passes get more and more difficult as you try to get aggressive downfield. I love the call. I love pushing the ball down the field. But the windows in the throwing lanes aren't there long, and it only takes a little bit for a throw to be off.
Couldn't connect on first. It's 2nd down. To throw again, it's Burrow. Passing struggles bleeding over from that last play. He's forced to get rid of this one.
That was a situation where he got the time in the pocket he needed. There just wasn't anyone open to throw it to. It got to the point he had 2 choices as that clock is going off in his head. Force to throw and risk a pick, or just get rid of it and cut your losses on the play.
And this kick is good. He needed to get all of it there, and he did. And that will add to their score.
A lot of them may make it look automatic, but you get this deep, and those field goals are far from a certainty. It took all his concentration, every bit of his strength, to send that puppy through.
Time left for maybe a return plus a play here as they send this away. And he opts not to bring this one out, so they're going to enjoy some good starting field position from the 30. Probably looking at our final snap of the half here on first down. He'll throw it. Throwing into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Mike Hilton. And the Bengals are stopped on that return, so that interception's going to be the final play of this opening half.
All right, Kate, sit tight. We'll get back to you and Brock in just a moment. But for now, this is our halftime report. The Bengals got a strong performance in that first half by Joey B, their quarterback, Joe Burrow. He had a touchdown both in the air and on the ground to help push his guys into the lead at the break. This was an extremely one-sided first half. One team showed up ready to go. The other's been in a daze thus far, but there's still plenty of time left for this one to tighten up significantly.
As always, a hat tip to Coach for his hard work during the break, as we're happy to welcome y'all back for the start of our third quarter. Here's McPherson on to handle the kickoff. Marvin Mims now to return it. And he's brought down just inside the 25 on the return. The Denver offense now with the football first to begin quarter number 3. And things starting to get a little out of hand for him, Brock. That last score made it 17-zip. They're out and set, 1st and 10. Here's Williams to start the drive. He breaks the tackle, and he found some running room for a nice gain. Good rip on first down. That brings up 2nd and 2.
Well, that doesn't net a first down. You get yards like that in the run game, you will take it in the NFL.
After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short. They stay on the ground with Williams. And he's up to the 35-yard line as they reel him in. It's a gain of 4. And that'll be good for a Denver first.
Ooh, I like that. I really like that execution to move the chains. Now that 3rd down call that they had ready, well, they could stick it right back in their pocket for a later occasion.
They're set up at the 35 now. Throwing on first down, Nix. Got Williams, and it's complete. And he won't salvage that. It's a loss on the play.
That pass, it did put him in a position where he had to shake a defender. That's all you want. Give me a one-on-one. And he is capable of doing it, but not against that dude. That defender could not be shook, and he knocked him back across the line.
Back to the line they go. It's 2nd down. From the gun, a carry by Williams. We'll have him gain about a handful there. Jermaine Pratt with the play defensively. It's a 5-yard gain, and that brings up 3rd and 7.
A humble 5 to 6 yard gain on the ground. Not a huge gain, not a game-changing play by any means, but one that keeps you on schedule and takes some of the starch out of that front 7.
On 3rd down, here's Nix. He's on the move. He's running for it. And he's tackled with the 1st down yardage.
You know, before the snap, right before the snap, you may have to take off if the read isn't there. That was a great adjustment made at the perfect time for the 1st down. Football
on that 47-yard line, 1st down. A handoff for Williams, running left. Down the sideline inside the 40. A big play, 23 yards to move those chains.
Best run games in this league at balance. Can run it inside, and as they just showed right there, doing damage on the outside.
They've got first down from the 31. Nix now to throw. Throw complete to Williams. And they can't bring him down until he gets into that red zone at the 19. 12 yards on that play, and a good call nets him the first.
Kate, I can promise you, you go back and look at the most efficient offenses in the NFL over the last couple decades, one thing will resonate. You've got to be able to attack the middle of the field. It's great to do it with receivers. It's awesome with tight ends. But when you get that influence from your running...
Touchdown, Denver! All right, so the offense does its job, Brock. Now they need their defense to give them a chance to overcome that big deficit.
The momentum in the building's clearly changed. We can feel it here in the booth, but you're right. It's now up to the defense to make a stop and give them a chance.
Will Lutz now on for the extra point. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Broncos cut the lead down to 10. That lead trimmed just a bit, down to 10 points now as the kick is up and away. Starting from the 5. And look at this return. And he gets across the 30 before he's brought down. So now here comes the Bengals on offense. And they'll have a little momentum as they take the field here after their kicker drilled a deep one to end their last drive with points. It's a new set of downs for him at the 32. First and 10 now. Here's Burrow. Complete out to the right. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. This one goes for an even 25 yards. And it'll be first down, Bengals.
Well, that one was drawn up and delivered beautifully, efficiently. If it's not circled on the call sheet already, you better believe it is now.
One play in, and this drive is already into enemy territory. So tough to stay set when you've got defenders doing everything they can to make you jump, and, well, they got one of them to move that time. They're set back 5 by that false start. Now 15 yards to the marker. Here's Burrow. And he let his man just a little too much there. That's an incomplete pass. Not on the same page with his tight end. So now it's second and long.
Boy, you certainly want those throws to be automatic. Every team, if you're going to be efficient, you got to hit those passes in the short to intermediate zone to effectively move the ball in this league.
They motion the tight end over. Second and 15. A quick slant. Here's Gesicki. And he gets him around 6 there. Sent down by Cody Barton. We'll see what they come up with for third down in just a bit. We've reached the end of 3. The Bengals with it. They've got the lead, but this game is close. Broncos bringing out an extra DB. Third down coming up. Burrow back to throw. Has him on the quick hitter. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down. They get 22 on that one. And it sets up a Cincinnati first down.
Kate, when Bill Walsh was implementing the drag route with the 49ers in the 80s, it sounded the same way as it did with Mike Holmgren and me with the Seahawks in the 2000s versus man on a drag route, run away. You see zone coverage, settle down, give your quarterback his numbers, and you could find a completion just like that.
First down from the red zone. And he's not quite that fast. Let him just a bit too much. That's incomplete.
There's the importance of staying in phase as a defender. He was all over him in coverage, and that really did help force the incompletion.
So after the incompletion, here comes the second down call. Burrow. That's going to be caught by all. And he's brought down a little short. No, actually they do give him the 10-yard line.
The goal of running that drag route is to get it to him for at least a minimal gain with space to add after that. They picked up a good chunk, and there was nearly room to add even more.
Third and a lone yard coming up. Throwing is Burrow. Complete beyond the marker. He's got the Cincinnati touchdown. So the offense showing a slightly different dimension there, Brock. Getting the running back involved with his hands for the touchdown.
Yeah, such an advantage. I think when you think about it, Kate, it really is about the 80s where we start to see these running backs not just tote the ball as runners, but be real weapons when they get the ball in the passing game.
Yeah.
That's well done.
McPherson at the point after. The point after splits the uprights. And the Bengals take a 3-possession lead. Here's McPherson on to handle the kickoff. Here's Smith on the return. This return makes it up to the 25. The Broncos running their offense out once again. And all game, they have struggled to attack this deficit. Maybe they can do a little window dressing here. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. Nix from the gun. He puts some juice on a deep throw down the... This is caught inside the 15. It's a huge pickup on the play. And the Broncos will have a first down.
I try to remind you a time or two, Kate, that you always got to start your read from the secondary forward. You got to see what the safeties are doing. If you're going to throw a ball in the middle third, deep downfield like that, you have to have tremendous awareness of where those safeties were, and the QB just nailed it.
And he's got a decent gain before being brought down. Working quickly here. Out of the gun, it's Nix. Cut near the goal line. And he's short of the first after a mild gain.
This defense didn't give up contain there, Kate. That was an instance where the more exciting plays were taken away downfield. And even looking to the tight end wasn't going to net them much.
Offense in the hurry up here. Now Nix on 3rd down. Flush down out to his left. And he will score. It's a Denver touchdown. The Broncos get it back to within 2 possessions. It's a Bo Nix touchdown. Just a great effort there from him, Brock, to take it upon himself, embrace the initiative, and turn that drive into 6.
You know, Kate, there was a day when you were watching Steve Young or Randall Cunningham, and that felt like a bonus touchdown. But that's not today. It feels like every quarterback's got to be able to score, be a dual threat on the ground. It's part of an offense every single team relies upon.
Point after try is good by Lutz. And the Broncos cut the lead down to 10. Well, don't look up at the clock, everybody. That is certainly not their friend as they get set to try an onside kick. And the Bengals hands team does its job recovering that kick. And he takes it just inside the 40, down to the 39. The Bengals and Joe Burrow all set to take over. And this is some quality film review right here. Look at this. Couple of touchdowns, good amount of yards, too. He's been moving them down the field like only he can, putting together quite the game for himself in the process. This will be the last play before our 2-minute warning. A tight end in motion now. On first down, here's Burrow. Catch is made down the right sideline. And they haul him down just a foot or two shy of the red zone. Now following that completion, we see a man shaken up. Officials calling for a pause as he gets looked at. A new set of downs awaits him. Here's 1st and 10. Now a shotgun handoff to Brown. And he gets it down to the 13-yard line. No surprises here. Defense quick to stop that clock. We've got 1:53 left in this game. After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short. On the handoff, this is Brown. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains. Denver calls the second of its 3 timeouts. And they are quite frustrated having to call that after giving up the first. First and goal now as they try to pad this lead. Putting one of the tight ends in motion right. Oh, look at this. He's setting up to throw. Has it down close. And he's able to get it to the 2 before the stop. Now the Broncos take their 3rd and final timeout. That's all they had, so the offense free to start running the clock down now. Ball at the 2 here for 2nd and goal. Brown. And he gets in. Touchdown. The Bengals can put this out of reach as they make it a 16-point lead. McPherson at the point after. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Bengals take a 3-possession lead. Here's McPherson on to handle the kickoff. Here's Smith on the return. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. Denver ready for another offensive possession. And this a final opportunity to make things a little closer in that final score. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Shotgun snap to Nix. That's complete to Vele. And he's brought down after a nice gain and a 1st down.
Well, that's a game that has its roots in preparation during the week. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of stuff. Identifying ways to target the coverage and creating opportunities for big completions.
Clock working against him here as they hurry to that line. On 1st and 10, here's Nix. Completed to his running back. And he has this one past the 50 and will start downhill into Bengals territory.
These intermediate gains, that's the wheelhouse for these two to connect on. Start the series off well, and it sure keeps the defense on its toes in case they try to load up and just simply cover the receivers.
Working fast as the clock ticks towards 0. Taking a big shot for the end zone. Oh, it's an interception. Von Bell takes it away. And the Bengals will take it back to their own 30 before they're stopped. And that is where they're going to take over after the interception.
Well, that's now 2, Kate, that they've gotten him for picks in this game, and he's got to be careful, right? You've got to protect the football. It is the greatest treasure you have as an offense. And this defense, well, they've got 2 in their pocket, and you know they're going to be going after number 3.
Here come the Bengals to take over once again. And taking a look at these highlights, Brock, just a reminder of the type of game that they have had throwing the football. It really has been the key to their success.
Yeah, they've just not only stayed on schedule here, Kate. Man, they've made some music, right? Great rhythm.
Yeah.
Not just ahead of schedule, but huge plays have followed. We've seen a lot of different looks and wrinkles throughout this performance, and it's been a joy to watch.
Victory formation here. Looks like they're going to take a knee on 1st down. It's victory formation the rest of the way for the Bengals, who take a knee.
Nothing left to do now, Kate, but celebrate on one side and watch on hopelessly from the other. What a hard-fought effort to get to this spot, and now you can enjoy the victory.
Lining up to take a knee on 2nd down. With the win in hand, they'll take the knee, let this clock run out. So in the jungle, the Bengals take the win. And this is a game that proves every Pee Wee and Pop Warner and high school coach across the country correct, Brock. Teams who make fewer mistakes and turnovers gonna win a lot of football games. They kept the football, they forced a couple of turnovers, and that was a big part of the difference in this one. That does it for another broadcast of the NFL on EA Sports. With my partner in the booth, Brock Heward, I'm Kate Scott. The Bengals emerge as winners as we say so long from Cincinnati.